The Galactic Mockery. The Galactic Scientific Summit was a spectacle of arrogance and condescension. Held on the shimmering planet of Zorathis Prime, the event brought together the galaxy's most brilliant minds, or so they claimed. The Grand Hall was a marvel of alien architecture, with towering crystalline spires and floating platforms that glided silently through the air. Delegates from countless species mingled, their conversations a symphony of self-importance and thinly veiled insults. The human section. In a far corner of the hall, the human delegation sat at a table that might as well have been labeled the kids' table. Dr. Elena Marquez, a renowned physicist, adjusted her glasses and tried to ignore the sneers from the alien scientists. She was used to the ridicule. Humanity's primitive technology had been a running joke at the summit for decades. Dr. Marquez sneered Ambassador Xylox, a towering insectoid with iridescent wings. "I see your species is still struggling with basic quantum mechanics. How quaint." Elena forced a smile. "We're making progress, Ambassador. Perhaps one day we'll catch up." Xylox's wings buzzed with laughter. "Progress? Your latest breakthrough was a faster-than-light engine that barely works. How adorable." Elena clenched her fists under the table but said nothing. She had learned long ago that arguing with the alien elite was pointless. They were too convinced of their own superiority to listen. The arrival of Max. As the summit dragged on, a small figure entered the hall. It was Max Carter, a 12-year-old prodigy with a mop of unruly hair and a backpack slung over one shoulder. He looked out of place among the towering aliens, but his eyes sparkled with determination. "Dr. Marquez." Max called, weaving through the crowd. "I made it." Elena's eyes widened. "Max? What are you doing here? This is no place for a child." Max grinned. "I brought something. Something big." Before Elena could respond, Max unzipped his backpack and pulled out a small, unassuming device. It was a cube, about the size of a Rubik's puzzle, with a faint glow emanating from its surface. "What is that?" Elena asked, her curiosity piqued. "It's the quantum harmonizer," Max said proudly. "It can manipulate the fundamental forces of the universe." Elena stared at him, unsure whether to laugh or cry. "Max, this is a scientific summit. You can't just..." "Watch," Max interrupted, pressing a button on the device. The cube began to hum softly, its glow intensifying. The air around it seemed to warp, and the nearby holographic displays flickered. The aliens nearby stopped their conversations, their eyes drawn to the strange device. The alien reaction. Ambassador Xylox floated over, his wings buzzing with irritation. "What is this nonsense? A child's toy?" Max looked up at the towering insectoid, unimpressed. "It's not a toy. It's a quantum harmonizer. It can bend space-time." Xylox's laughter echoed through the hall. "Bend space-time? With that? How delightful. Perhaps you should stick to building sandcastles, little human." The other aliens joined in the laughter, their voices a cacophony of mockery. Max's cheeks flushed, but he stood his ground. "You'll see," he said quietly. "You'll all see. The first test." Max adjusted the settings on the quantum harmonizer, his small hands moving with precision. The device's hum grew louder, and the air around it began to shimmer. A faint ripple spread through the hall, causing the floating platforms to wobble. "What is he doing?" Xylox demanded, his wings twitching nervously. Elena stepped forward, her heart racing. "Max, be careful. You don't know what that thing can do." Max ignored her, his focus entirely on the device. With a final adjustment, he pressed another button. The cube's glow intensified, and a small, stable wormhole appeared in the air above it. The child prodigy. The Grand Hall of the Galactic Scientific Summit was eerily silent, the usual hum of alien chatter replaced by stunned disbelief. The wormhole created by Max's quantum harmonizer pulsed gently in the air, its edges shimmering with an otherworldly light. The alien delegates, who moments ago had been mocking humanity's primitive science, now stared at the device with a mix of awe and fear. The alien reaction. Ambassador Xylox was the first to break the silence. This is some kind of trick," he stammered, his wings twitching erratically. "A child cannot possibly have created such a device." Max crossed his arms, his small frame radiating confidence. "It's not a trick. It's science. Maybe you should try it sometime." The other aliens murmured among themselves, their earlier arrogance replaced by uncertainty. Dr. Elena Marquez stepped forward, her voice calm but firm. "Max is a prodigy. His invention is real, and it's proof that humanity has more to offer than you've given us credit for." Xylox's compound eyes narrowed. "Proof? This is a single demonstration. For all we know, this device is a fluke, or worse, a danger to us all." Max rolled his eyes. "It's not a fluke. And it's not dangerous if you know how to use it." The demand for proof. The alien delegates began to clamor, their voices rising in a cacophony of demands and accusations. Some called for the device to be confiscated, while others insisted on a more thorough examination. The once orderly summit had descended into chaos. Elena placed a protective hand on Max's shoulder. "We'll give you proof," she said, raising her voice to be heard over the din, "but you'll have to treat us with respect. No more insults, no more condescension." "Agreed?" The aliens hesitated, their pride warring with their curiosity. Finally, Xylox nodded. "Very well. We will observe a proper demonstration. But if this is a trick, humanity will be banned from future summits." Max grinned. "You're gonna eat those words." The preparation. The summit's central stage was cleared for Max's demonstration. The alien delegates gathered around, their skepticism evident in their body language. Max set up the quantum harmonizer on a small table, his hands moving with practiced ease. Elena stood nearby, ready to assist if needed. "All right," Max said, addressing the crowd. "This is the quantum harmonizer. It works by manipulating the fundamental forces of the universe, gravity, electromagnetism, the strong and weak nuclear forces. With it, I can do things your scientists said were impossible." The aliens exchanged dubious glances, but no one interrupted. Max pressed a button on the device, and the cube began to hum softly. A holographic display appeared above it, showing complex equations and energy readings. "First, I'll show you how it bends spacetime," Max said. He adjusted the settings, and the air around the device began to warp. A small, stable wormhole appeared, just like before. The aliens gasped, their earlier skepticism giving way to awe. Xylox leaned forward, his wings buzzing softly. "Incredible," he muttered. "But can it do more?" Max smirked. "Oh, it can do a lot more." The demonstration. Max increased the device's power, and the wormhole expanded. Through it, the delegates could see a distant star system, its planets clearly visible. The aliens murmured in amazement, their earlier arrogance replaced by genuine curiosity. "This is just the beginning," Max said. "Watch this." He adjusted the settings again, and the wormhole shifted. The image of the star system was replaced by a swirling vortex of energy. Max reached into the vortex and pulled out a small, glowing crystal. "This is a quantum crystal," he explained. "It's formed when matter is exposed to extreme gravitational forces. Your scientists have been trying to create one for centuries. With the quantum harmonizer, it's easy." The aliens stared at the crystal, their disbelief giving way to admiration. Even Xylox looked impressed, though he tried to hide it. The turning point. As the demonstration continued, Max showed off more of the device's capabilities. He created a miniature black hole, stabilized it, and then collapsed it without causing any damage. He manipulated electromagnetic fields to levitate objects and even created a small, self-sustaining energy source. The alien delegates were speechless. For the first time, they were forced to confront the possibility that humanity, a species they had dismissed as primitive, might be more advanced than they had ever imagined. "This changes everything," one of the aliens whispered. "If humanity can do this, what else are they capable of?" Elena stepped forward, her voice filled with pride. "This is just the beginning. Humanity has always been curious, always pushing the boundaries of what's possible. Max's invention is proof of that." Xylox cleared his throat, his earlier arrogance replaced by a grudging respect. "Perhaps we have underestimated your species. But this device, it raises many questions. How does it work? What are its limitations?" Max shrugged. "I'll explain everything. But first, you have to admit that humans aren't as primitive as you thought." The aliens exchanged uneasy glances. Finally, Xylox nodded. "Very well. We may have been hasty in our judgment. Your invention is impressive." Max grinned. "That's more like it." The aftermath. As the demonstration ended, the alien delegates crowded around Max, peppering him with questions. For the first time, humanity was the center of attention at the Galactic Scientific Summit. Elena watched with a mixture of pride and relief, knowing that this was a turning point for their species. The demonstration. The Grand Hall of the Galactic Scientific Summit was alive with a newfound energy. The alien delegates, once dismissive and condescending, now crowded around Max Carter and his quantum harmonizer. The device had shattered their preconceptions, and they were eager to learn more. But Max wasn't done yet. He had one final demonstration planned, one that would leave no doubt about humanity's capabilities. The final test. Max stood at the center of the stage, the quantum harmonizer glowing softly in his hands. The alien delegates watched in rapt attention, their earlier skepticism replaced by a mix of awe and curiosity. Even Ambassador Xylox, the most vocal critic of humanity, had fallen silent, his wings twitching nervously. "This is the last demonstration," Max announced, his voice steady despite the weight of the moment. "I'm going to show you something that even your scientists thought was impossible." The aliens leaned forward, their eyes fixed on the device. Max adjusted the settings, and the quantum harmonizer began to hum louder. The air around it shimmered, and a faint ripple spread through the hall. "What is he doing now?" Xylox muttered, his compound eyes narrowing. Elena Marquez, standing nearby, smiled. "Just watch." The wormhole. Max pressed a button, and the quantum harmonizer's glow intensified. A small, stable wormhole appeared in the air above the device, its edges perfectly defined. The aliens gasped, their earlier amazement returning in full force. "This wormhole is stable," Max explained. "It can transport matter instantly from one point in space to another. Watch." He picked up a small object, a simple metal cube, and tossed it into the wormhole. The cube disappeared, and a moment later, it reappeared on the other side of the stage. The aliens erupted into murmurs of astonishment. "Impossible," Xylox whispered, his wings drooping. This defies everything we know about physics." Max grinned. "That's the point. Your scientists said it couldn't be done. But here it is. The energy source." Before the aliens could recover from the wormhole demonstration, Max moved on to his next feat. He adjusted the quantum harmonizer again, and the device began to emit a soft, pulsing light. The air around it grew warm, and a faint hum filled the hall. "This is a self-sustaining energy source," Max said. "It generates unlimited clean energy by tapping into the quantum vacuum. No fuel, no waste, just pure energy." The aliens stared in disbelief as Max connected the device to a small generator. The generator roared to life, powering a series of lights and machines with ease. The energy readings on the holographic display skyrocketed, far beyond what the aliens had thought possible. "This could revolutionize the galaxy," one of the aliens whispered. "No more energy shortages, no more pollution." Max nodded. "Exactly. And it's just one of the things the quantum harmonizer can do." The alien reaction. The alien delegates were speechless. For the first time, they were forced to confront the possibility that humanity, a species they had dismissed as primitive, might be more advanced than they had ever imagined. Even Xylox, the most vocal critic of humanity, looked shaken. This changes everything," Xylox said, his voice barely above a whisper. "If humanity can do this, what else are they capable of?" Elena stepped forward, her voice filled with pride. "This is just the beginning. Humanity has always been curious, always pushing the boundaries of what's possible. Max's invention is proof of that." The plot. But not everyone was impressed. In the shadows of the hall, a group of alien scientists whispered among themselves, their eyes fixed on the quantum harmonizer. They had seen its power, and they wanted it for themselves. "We cannot allow humanity to keep this technology," one of them hissed. "It's too dangerous." "Agreed," another said. "We must take it. By force if necessary." The group slipped away, their plans already forming. They would steal the quantum harmonizer and claim it as their own. Humanity would be left with nothing. The aftermath. As the demonstration ended, the alien delegates crowded around Max, peppering him with questions. For the first time, humanity was the center of attention at the Galactic Scientific Summit. Elena watched with a mixture of pride and relief, knowing that this was a turning point for their species. But Max's mind was already elsewhere. He had seen the group of aliens slipping away, their intentions clear. He knew they would try to steal the quantum harmonizer, and he was ready for them. "Dr. Marquez," Max said, his voice low. "We need to be careful. Some of them aren't happy about this." The theft. The Galactic Scientific Summit had reached its climax, but the excitement in the Grand Hall was tinged with tension. Max Carter's quantum harmonizer had stunned the alien delegates, but not everyone was celebrating. In the shadows, a group of alien scientists plotted to steal the device, their greed and arrogance blinding them to the consequences. The plan. The group, led by a Zora T scientist named Dr. Krell, huddled in a secluded corner of the hall. Their whispers were barely audible over the hum of the crowd, but their intentions were clear. "We cannot let humanity keep this technology," Krell hissed, his compound eyes gleaming with determination. "It's too powerful. If they can create stable wormholes and unlimited energy, they'll surpass us in every way." "But how do we take it?" asked another scientist, a centaurian with bioluminescent patterns flickering nervously. "The child is always with it." Krell's mandibles clicked in irritation. "We'll distract him. Create a diversion. Once the device is unguarded, we'll take it and leave. By the time they realize what's happened, we'll be light years away." The group nodded, their resolve hardening. They slipped away, blending into the crowd as they prepared to put their plan into action. The diversion. As Max and Dr. Elena Marquez answered questions from the alien delegates, a sudden commotion erupted on the other side of the hall. A holographic display malfunctioned, sending sparks flying and causing a small fire. The crowd panicked, rushing to see what had happened. "What's going on?" Elena asked, her eyes scanning the chaos. Max frowned, his instincts kicking in. "Something's not right. This feels staged." Before they could react, a group of aliens approached them, their expressions a mix of concern and urgency. "Dr. Marquez, Max, you need to come quickly. There's been an accident." Elena hesitated, but Max shook his head. "No. This is a trick. They're trying to separate us from the quantum harmonizer." The theft. As Max predicted, the moment he and Elena were distracted, Dr. Krell and his team made their move. They slipped onto the stage, their movements quick and precise. Krell grabbed the quantum harmonizer, his compound eyes gleaming with triumph. "Got it," he whispered, clutching the device to his chest. "Let's go." But as they turned to leave, Max's voice rang out. "I wouldn't do that if I were you." Krell froze, his mandibles clicking in surprise. Max stood at the edge of the stage, his arms crossed and a small, knowing smile on his face. Behind him, Elena activated a holographic display, revealing the entire theft attempt. "You didn't think I'd leave the quantum harmonizer unguarded, did you?" Max said, his tone dripping with sarcasm. "I may be a kid, but I'm not stupid." The trap. Krell's eyes widened as he realized the truth. The quantum harmonizer in his hands was a decoy, a holographic projection designed to lure him into a trap. The real device was still safely in Max's possession. You tricked us," Krell stammered, his wings twitching in frustration. Max shrugged. "You tried to steal from me. What did you expect?" Elena stepped forward, her expression stern. "This is unacceptable. You've disgraced yourselves and your species. The Galactic Scientific Council will hear about this." The other aliens in the hall turned their attention to the scene, their expressions a mix of shock and disapproval. Krell and his team shrank under the weight of their judgment, their earlier arrogance replaced by shame. The aftermath. The summit's organizers quickly intervened, escorting Krell and his team away. The other alien delegates murmured among themselves, their respect for humanity growing with each passing moment. "Max," Elena said, placing a hand on his shoulder. "You handled that brilliantly. But we need to be careful. Not everyone will accept this gracefully." Max nodded, his expression serious. "I know. But we're not going to let them stop us. The quantum harmonizer is just the beginning. Humanity has so much more to offer." The new era. As the summit drew to a close, the alien delegates approached Max and Elena, their earlier condescension replaced by genuine respect. Ambassador Xylox, who had once mocked humanity's primitive science, was among them. "Max," Xylox said, his voice uncharacteristically humble. I owe you an apology. Your invention is truly remarkable. You've proven that humanity is far more advanced than we ever imagined." Max smiled, his confidence unwavering. "Thanks. But this isn't just about me. It's about all of us. If we work together, there's no limit to what we can achieve." Xylox nodded, his wings buzzing softly. "Perhaps you're right. Perhaps it's time for a new era of cooperation." The future. As the summit ended, Max and Elena left the Grand Hall, the quantum harmonizer safely in their possession. The road ahead would be challenging, but they were ready. Humanity had proven its worth, and the galaxy would never be the same. The new era. The Galactic Scientific Summit had ended, but its impact reverberated across the galaxy. Max Carter's quantum harmonizer had not only proven humanity's ingenuity but also forced the alien species to confront their own arrogance. The once dismissive delegates now looked at humanity with newfound respect, and the stage was set for a new era of cooperation. The aftermath. As Max and Dr. Elena Marquez prepared to leave Zora this Prime, they were approached by Ambassador Xylox and a delegation of alien scientists. The towering insectoid's wings buzzed softly, a sign of nervousness among his kind. "Max," Xylox began, his voice uncharacteristically humble. "We owe you and your species an apology. Your invention has shown us that we were wrong to underestimate humanity." Max smiled, his confidence unwavering. "Thanks, Ambassador. But this isn't just about me. It's about all of us. If we work together, there's no limit to what we can achieve." Xylox nodded, his compound eyes reflecting the soft light of the hall. "You are wise beyond your years, young one. We would be honored to collaborate with humanity on future projects. Elena stepped forward, her expression warm but cautious. We're open to cooperation, but it has to be on equal terms. No more condescension, no more arrogance. We're partners, not subordinates. The alien delegates murmured their agreement, their earlier pride replaced by a genuine desire to learn from humanity. For the first time, the Galactic Scientific Summit felt like a true gathering of equals. The quantum harmonizer's impact. News of Max's invention spread quickly across the galaxy. The quantum harmonizer's capabilities, stable wormholes, unlimited clean energy, and the manipulation of fundamental forces, captured the imagination of countless species. Scientists and engineers from every corner of the galaxy reached out to humanity, eager to learn more about the device and its potential applications. Max and Elena became galactic celebrities, their faces appearing on holographic news feeds and interstellar broadcasts. But Max remained focused on his work, his mind already racing with new ideas. "This is just the beginning," Max said during an interview with the Galactic News Network. "The quantum harmonizer is a tool, but it's up to us to decide how to use it. We can solve energy crises, explore distant star systems, and maybe even find a way to bring peace to the galaxy. The challenge is ahead." Despite the newfound respect for humanity, not everyone was ready to embrace the changes. Some alien factions viewed the quantum harmonizer as a threat, fearing that humanity's rapid advancement would upset the balance of power in the galaxy. "We must be careful," Elena warned Max as they prepared to return to Earth. "Not everyone will welcome this new era. There will be challenges, political, technological, and even ethical." Max nodded, his expression serious. "I know. But we can't let fear stop us. The quantum harmonizer is too important. It's not just about humanity, it's about the future of the galaxy." The first joint project. The first major collaboration between humanity and the alien species was the construction of a galactic energy network powered by the quantum harmonizer. The network would provide clean, unlimited energy to every corner of the galaxy, ending centuries of energy shortages and environmental degradation. Max and Elena worked closely with alien scientists, sharing their knowledge and learning from their counterparts. The project was a testament to what could be achieved when species put aside their differences and worked together. "This is incredible," Max said as he watched the first node of the energy network come online. "We're making history." Elena smiled, her pride evident. "We are. And it's just the beginning." The legacy. As the years passed, Max's quantum harmonizer became the foundation of a new galactic civilization. Humanity's role in this transformation was undeniable, but Max always emphasized that it was a collective effort. "This isn't just humanity's achievement," Max said during a speech at the Galactic Unity Conference. "It's the result of cooperation, curiosity, and the belief that we can achieve the impossible. The quantum harmonizer is a tool, but it's our shared vision that will shape the future." The alien delegates erupted into applause, their respect for humanity now unshakable. Max had not only changed the fate of the universe but also proven that even the smallest among us can make the biggest difference. The final reflection. As Max stood on the observation deck of the Galactic Unity Station, looking out at the stars, he felt a sense of fulfillment. The journey had been long and challenging, but it had been worth it. Humanity had taken its place among the stars, not as subordinates but as equals. Elena joined him, her expression thoughtful. "You've done it, Max. You've changed the galaxy."